The restaurant was the kind of place where silence cost more than noise, ambient lighting soft, jazzed the clink of crystal against porcelain. It was a Tuesday night, and the dining room at Luciano's was half empty, which meant the staff could breathe. Except for Mariella Russo. She stood near the bar, balancing a tray of champagne flutes, her thick dark hair pinned back in a twist that had started to come loose an hour ago. She was a curvy woman, the kind the uniform company didn't design their clothes for. The black dress they issued her was meant to hang elegantly. On her, it clung to her hips, pulled tight across her chest, and made her hyper-aware of every inch of space she occupied. She'd learned to move carefully, to take up less room, to apologize with her posture. But tonight, someone was looking at her like she didn't need to apologize for anything. His name was Julian. He was seated alone at table 12, a booth near the back. Mid-30s, dressed in an expensive suit, dark hair styled just casually enough to look effortless. He'd been nursing the same glass of scotch for 20 minutes, and every time Mariella passed his table, his eyes followed her. Not in the way most men looked at her. Not dismissive, not hungry, interested. When she finally approached to refill his water, he smiled. "You have a beautiful smile," Julian said. His voice was warm, genuine. "I don't think I've seen you smile once tonight. That's a crime in a place like this." Mariella blinked, caught off guard. She glanced over her shoulder, half expecting him to be talking to someone else. "Me?" she asked. "You," he confirmed. He leaned back in the booth, his smile widening. "You're the most beautiful woman in this restaurant." Easily. Her face flushed. She set the water pitcher down a little too hard, the ice rattling. "That's very kind of you," she stammered. "Can I get you anything else?" "Dinner," Julian said. "With you. Tomorrow night." Mariella's breath caught. Men didn't ask her out. Not men like this. Not men in tailored suits who looked like they belonged on magazine covers. She started. And then the temperature in the room dropped. She felt it before she saw him. A shift in the air. A heaviness that made the hairs on the back of her neck stand up. From across the dining room, Dante Salvatore was watching. He sat at his usual corner table, partially hidden by a column and an arrangement of imported orchids. He wore all black. Notie. His shirt was unbuttoned at the collar, revealing the edge of a tattoo that snaked up his neck. His hands rested on the table, fingers steepled. He wasn't eating. He wasn't drinking. He was staring directly at Julian. Mariella's stomach twisted. Dante Salvatore owned Luciano's. He owned half the block. He owned shipping routes, construction contracts, and politicians. He was the head of the Salvatore family, one of the oldest and most feared crime syndicates in the city. He didn't come to the restaurant often, but when he did, the entire staff moved like they were walking on live wires. Mariella had worked here for 8 months. In all that time, Dante had never spoken to her, never acknowledged her. She was invisible to him, or so she thought. Dante stood, slowly, deliberately. The entire dining room seemed to hold its breath. He crossed the floor in silence. His footsteps didn't make a sound, but every person in the room turned to watch. His presence pulled focus like gravity. He stopped beside Mariella. Up close, he was overwhelming. Tall, broad-shouldered. His face was all sharp angles and cold control. His eyes were dark, unreadable, and currently locked onto Julian with the kind of intensity that could stop a heartbeat. "Mariella," Dante said. His voice was low, rough, and carried the weight of absolute authority. She flinched. "Yes, Mr. Salvatore?" He didn't look at her. He kept his eyes on Julian. "Who is this?" Julian shifted uncomfortably in his seat. His confidence had evaporated the second Dante appeared. "I was just," Julian started. "I wasn't asking you," Dante interrupted. His tone didn't rise. It didn't need to. Mariella's pulse was racing. "He's a customer, Mr. Salvatore. I was just taking his order. He called you beautiful." It wasn't a question. It was a statement. A fact he'd heard from across the room. Mariella swallowed hard. He was being polite. Dante finally looked at her. His gaze dropped to her face, tracing her flushed cheeks, her wide eyes, the way her hands were trembling slightly as they gripped the edge of the tray. Then he looked back at Julian. "Leave," Dante said. Julian blinked. "Excuse me? You're done here. Pay at the bar. Don't come back." "I haven't even ordered," Julian protested. Dante leaned down, bracing one hand on the table. His face was inches from Julian's. "If I see you near her again," Dante said quietly, "they'll find pieces of you in 3 different states." Julian's face went white. He grabbed his wallet, threw $200 on the table, and practically ran for the exit. The door swung shut behind him. The restaurant was silent. Mariella stood frozen, her heart hammering so hard she thought it might crack her ribs. Dante straightened. He turned to face her fully. "You don't take compliments from customers," he said. I wasn't," she stammered. "You don't smile at them. You don't entertain their attention. You work. You serve. You leave." Mariella's hands clenched into fists. Heat flooded her face, but this time it wasn't embarrassment. It was anger. "I was doing my job," she said, her voice shaking but firm. "He was being nice. I didn't do anything wrong." Dante's jaw tightened. For a moment, she thought he might fire her on the spot. Instead, he stepped closer. So close she could smell his cologne, cedar and smoke. "You think he was being nice?" Dante asked softly. "Yes," she breathed. "He wasn't." Dante's eyes bored into hers. "He was testing. Seeing if you were available. Seeing if anyone would stop him from taking what he wanted." "I'm not a thing to be taken," Mariella shot back. "No," Dante agreed. "You're not." He reached out. Slowly. His hand came up to her face, and for one breathless second, she thought he was going to touch her. Instead, he plucked a loose strand of hair that had fallen across her cheek and tucked it behind her ear. The brush of his fingers against her skin sent a shockwave through her entire body. "You're mine," Dante said. The word hung in the air like a verdict. Mariella stared at him. Her breath caught somewhere between shock and something far more dangerous. "I don't belong to you," she whispered. Dante's lips curved into the faintest, darkest smile. "You've been mine since the first day you walked into this restaurant," he murmured. "You just didn't know it yet." He stepped back. The spell broke. "Finish your shift," Dante said, his tone shifting back to cold authority. "Then come to my office." "Why?" she asked. "Because I said so." He turned and walked away, disappearing into the back hallway that led to the private offices upstairs. Mariella stood there, trembling, her skin still burning where he touched her. Around her, the other servers slowly went back to work, pretending they hadn't just witnessed their boss claim a woman in the middle of the dining room. But Mariella knew better. Something had shifted tonight, something irreversible. And whether she wanted it or not, Dante Salvatore had just made her his. 2 hours later, Mariella stood outside the door to Dante's office. Her shift was over. The restaurant had closed. The building was empty except for the low hum of security lighting and the distant sound of someone cleaning the kitchen. She should leave. She should walk out the back door, get on the subway, go home to her tiny studio apartment in Brooklyn, and pretend tonight never happened. But she didn't. She knocked. "Come in," Dante's voice called from the other side. She pushed the door open. The office was dimly lit, smelling of leather and old wood. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves lined one wall. A massive desk dominated the center of the room. Dante sat behind it, his jacket discarded, his sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms covered in ink. He was pouring 2 glasses of whiskey. "Sit," he said, nodding to the chair across from him. Mariella closed the door behind her and sat. She kept her back straight, her hands folded in her lap. Dante slid one of the glasses across the desk toward her. "I don't drink on the clock," she said. "You're not on the clock anymore." She didn't touch the glass. Dante leaned back in his chair, studying her with that same unnerving intensity. "You're angry," he observed. "You humiliated me," Mariella said, "in front of everyone. I protected you." "From what? A man who called me beautiful?" Dante's eyes darkened. "Yes, that's insane." "Is it?" Dante set his glass down. "Do you know who Julian Marks is?" Mariella blinked. "No. He works for the Antonelli family. They're a rival organization." "He wasn't here for dinner, Mariella. He was here to gather information, to find weaknesses. And the second he saw you, he found one." Her stomach dropped. "You're lying," she whispered. "I don't lie." Dante leaned forward, his elbows on the desk. "He saw a beautiful woman who works in my restaurant. A woman I clearly haven't claimed. A woman who could be used as leverage, as bait, as a message. So yes, I stopped him. And I made it very clear that you are off limits." Mariella's hands trembled. "By saying I'm yours." "Yes. I'm not your property." "No," Dante agreed. "But in this world, perception is reality. If they think you're mine, they won't touch you. If they think you're unprotected, you're a target." Mariella stood abruptly. "I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be part of your world. You became part of it the day you started working here. Then I quit." Dante stood as well. He walked around the desk, closing the distance between them in 3 strides. "You can't quit," he said quietly. "Watch me. If you walk out that door, the Antonellis will have you in a van within 48 hours. Mariella's breath hitched. "You're trying to scare me. I'm trying to keep you alive." She looked up at him, her chest heaving. He was so close she could feel the heat radiating off him. "Why?" she demanded. "Why do you care what happens to me?" Dante's jaw clenched. For the first time, she saw something flicker in his eyes. Something raw. "Because I've been watching you for 8 months, he said, his voice dropping to a rough whisper. "I've watched you smile at customers who don't deserve it. I've watched you carry trays that are too heavy. I've watched you tuck yourself into corners like you're afraid of being seen. And every single time, I've wanted to burn this entire restaurant down just to get you out of that uniform and into my life." Mariella's heart stopped. "You don't even know me," she breathed. "I know you work 2 jobs. I know you send money to your mother in Queens every month. I know you take the long way home because the subway station near your apartment makes you nervous. I know you drink tea, not coffee. I know you hum when you think no one's listening. And I know that when Julian called you beautiful tonight, it was the first time in months anyone made you feel like you mattered." Tears burned at the corners of her eyes. "How do you know all that?" she whispered. "Because I notice everything about you," Dante said. "I always have." He reached out, his hand cupping her jaw. His thumb brushed across her cheek, rough and warm. "You asked me why I care," he murmured. "It's because you're not just beautiful, Mariella. You're mine. You've been mine since the moment I saw you. And I don't share." Mariella's breath shuddered out of her. "This is insane," she whispered. "Yes," Dante agreed. "It is." And then he kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't tentative. It was claiming, consuming, absolute. Mariella's hands came up to his chest, but she didn't push him away. She grabbed fistfuls of his shirt and pulled him closer. When he finally pulled back, they were both breathing hard. "You can't quit," Dante said, his forehead resting against hers. "Because I'm not letting you go." Mariella closed her eyes. "What does that make me?" she asked. "Mine," Dante said simply, "and I protect what's mine." Over the next 3 weeks, Mariella's life changed in ways she couldn't have imagined. Dante moved her out of her studio apartment and into a secure penthouse in Midtown. He assigned her a driver, a bodyguard. He paid off her mother's medical debt without asking. And every night he came to her, not as a boss, not as a crime lord, as a man who looked at her like she was the only thing in the world that mattered. But the Antonellis didn't forget. They waited, they watched, and when they finally made their move, it was brutal. The attack came on a Friday night. Mariella was leaving a boutique in Soho, her bodyguard 3 steps behind her. When the black van pulled up, 2 men grabbed her. A third knocked her guard unconscious. She screamed, but a hand clamped over her mouth. They threw her into the van. The door slammed shut, and then everything went dark. When Mariella woke, she was tied to a chair in a cold, empty warehouse. Her head throbbed, her wrists burned from the zip ties. Across from her sat Vincent Antonelli, the head of the rival family. He was older, gray-haired, with cold, calculating eyes. "Miss Russo," Vincent said pleasantly. "I apologize for the rough introduction, but Dante Salvatore has something I want, and you're going to help me get it." Mariella's heart pounded. "He won't negotiate with you." Vincent smiled. "Oh, I think he will, because I'm going to send him pieces of you until he does." She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She looked Vincent dead in the eye. "You have no idea what you just started," she said. Vincent laughed. He stopped laughing when the warehouse doors exploded inward. Dante came through the smoke like a demon unleashed. He had 20 men with him, armed, silent, lethal. The Antonelli soldiers barely had time to raise their weapons before Dante's men cut them down. Vincent tried to run. Dante caught him by the throat. "You touched her," Dante said. His voice was quiet, calm, terrifying. "Dante, wait," Vincent choked out. "You put your hands on what's mine." Dante didn't shout. He didn't need to. He simply pulled the trigger. Vincent's body hit the ground. Dante crossed the room to Mariella. He cut the zip ties with a knife, his hands shaking as he pulled her into his arms. "Are you hurt?" he demanded. "No," she whispered. "I'm okay." Dante pulled back, his hands framing her face. His eyes scanned her for injuries, frantic, desperate. "If they had," he started. "They didn't," Mariella said. She pressed her hands over his. "I'm okay." "Because of you." Dante's forehead dropped to hers. You're mine, he breathed. Say it.
I'm yours, Mariella whispered.
Say it again.
I'm yours, Dante. I'm yours.
He kissed her, hard and desperate, in the middle of the burning warehouse. And when he finally pulled away, he looked at her with something she'd never seen before. Not possession. Love. 6 months later, Mariella stood on the balcony of their penthouse, looking out over the city. She wore a diamond ring on her left hand. Not an engagement ring. A wedding band. Dante came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist, pulling her back against his chest. What are you thinking about? He murmured. About the night Julian called me beautiful, she said. Dante's arms tightened. And, he prompted, and how you said one word that changed my entire life. Mine, Dante said softly. Yours, Mariella agreed. She turned in his arms, looking up at the man who had claimed her, protected her, and loved her with a ferocity that terrified and thrilled her in equal measure. Do you regret it? Dante asked quietly. Not for a second, Mariella said. And she meant it, because she wasn't just his. He was hers too. Drop a comment. Do you think Dante was protecting her? Or was he obsessed from the start?